Okay, welcome back. We've got another product from Wild Badger that we're going to be reviewing. It's a 21-inch electric lawnmower, 40-volt lawnmower. You may have seen, I think Brian had reviewed the 18-inch. They've got an 18-inch and another one that's a different size, a little smaller, I think. But this just came out. It is a 21-inch, and it comes with, it says, two 40-volt batteries, but I don't know if they both go in there at the same time or if it's just running on 40 volts. I'm not sure, but it is a 4-in-1 mower, and the 4 is unusual because it does mulching, bagging, side discharge, and rear discharge. Now, I don't know what rear discharge is, but that's not like rear discharge into the bag. That's like rear discharge onto the ground, and I'm not sure how that works because there's somebody walking back there. And then it comes with a charger. Now this is a, what did it say here? It was the height adjustment. So the height adjustment is anywhere from 1.2 inches to 3.5 inches. So it's not going to quite get up to the standard St. Augustine height, which is about 4 to 4.5 inches. But it'll do everything else, including the St. Augustine that people are maintaining at a lower level. And so that is what we're going to be doing today, is demonstrating the 4 modes on this and taking a look at it. And I guess we'll start by opening the box and seeing what we got in there. How does it come? And that, in a nutshell, is how it comes packed. I better just pull everything out of the box so we can see what we really have. Okay, we've got everything out of the box. All this was in that box. So what we have is the 2 batteries and the charger, and this is a bag of parts. There's a little bit of assembly, not much. There's your instructions, and here's the main unit and the bagger and the side chute. So now we just got to put it together. Just a little bit of assembly. Obviously this part of the handle swings up, and it was saying on the box that it is adjustable for different heights. Those must be the different adjustments. And then this end piece must attach onto this piece. So I will probably pick the middle of the road and put that all together and see what it does. Okay, there we go. And it only took about 5 minutes to get this thing together. Like I was saying, this bottom half just swung up, and you got these little spring-loaded pins that just pop into place. And then the hardware bag was holding these hand-tightened bolt things that slip through there, and that attaches the top section to the bottom section, and you're all set there. And then you have these clips were also in the bag that just basically hold the wire out of the way. And there we go. So I have it up on its highest setting right now. It is a single adjust. This handle, you can see all these settings here on the holes there, and it's all the way up on the top. So this is at 3.5, but it's running awfully high for 3.5. It might actually even mow St. Augustine properly. We'll see. But it's a single handle adjust. It's got this arm here that adjusts all 4 wheels at the same time. And there we go. Now the mystery of the whether or not it takes 1 battery or 2 batteries is solved here. It takes 1 battery at a time, so it is running at 40 volts. But is that enough? I think it probably is enough in my experience. I've reviewed a lot of electric lawnmowers, and like, say for example, if you remember, the 80 volt was, I would say, overpowered, which can be a lot of fun, but completely unnecessary. But most of them run right around 56 or 58 volts, such as the last one that I did was 58 volts. If you can remember, it was able to mow stuff that was like 2 feet high, so chances are it only needs 40 volts. We're going to find that out today. Here are the controls. This is your speed control, and it is infinitely variable, digital proportional. And then here is your blade engagement. So basically you push that down and then pull this safety handle and it will turn on, and I'll demonstrate that in a second when I have another free hand. And then back here is your propulsion engagement, and it all works nice and smooth. Let's demonstrate that now. Okay, it works just fine. Hopefully you could see what I was doing there. I was basically engaging the propulsion and then moving the slider as I was going. So you can, as it's going, you can go faster and slower. You don't have to set that before you engage. And what I really like is that its slowest speed is really slow, because that comes in to play all the time where you need to really creep. But then the high speed, I think that they were saying, is right around 3 miles per hour. And then the slow speed is definitely just creeping, and everywhere in between. So that is a great feature. And now we are done filming the initial setup, and we can just go mow with it. So let's do that. Okay, getting started. I'm going to be doing the main filming in another yard because, as I stated, this is only going up to about 3.5 inches. And regular St. Augustine like this, cut at the correct height, is cut at 4 1/4. But from past experience, some of the times when they were saying it doesn't go up high enough, it really did go up high enough. So, I mean, this is really up pretty high. And so we're going to test it here in the full height St. Augustine. Reason being, the larger mowers, even though they are set at 4 1/4, they're a lot heavier and they set down farther down into the grass, whereas this is a light mower at 3 1/2. I don't know, maybe there's a chance. Maybe it'll scalp a little bit. We got to try it, so that's what we're going to do first. I want to mention that we are mulching. Let me just go over those modes right now. So you got your mulching mode. That means you have this cover down and you have your mulching plug in. And then the rear discharge, this is kind of interesting. If you notice, when that closes completely for mulching, it's all the way back. But now to do like a rear discharge, you've got this little lever that goes down, and that keeps, and then you would take your mulch plug out, and I'll demonstrate this better later. But that keeps it from going closed all the way. So theoretically, it would be blowing out of the chute up against the panel and then straight down onto the grass. Really curious to see that work. And then otherwise, you have the side discharge that we'll demonstrate later by picking up that flap and putting on the side chute. Let's first look at the blade. And then, of course, for bagging, you would take the mulch plug out, lift the flap all the way, put the bag on. But anyway, back to the St. Augustine. This is going to be full-blown mulching. No lever out, just mulching completely. Okay, so as I suspected, it is cutting up at St. Augustine height. In fact, I'm going to get down really low here to show you that it's actually cutting higher than I normally cut. Now, my big mower is set at 4 1/4, but as I said, it's, you know, 1,400 pounds, so it sinks down in a little bit, whereas this is very light and it rides along the top. It's actually cutting higher than 4 1/4. It's cutting like where the big commercial mowers would cut it, like 4 1/2. So no problem. No problem cutting even full height, full healthy St. Augustine. That's a surprise, and that's a good surprise. So that means that you can cut St. Augustine grass. But the actual test I'm going to do in another yard, so because that one's definitely down at a lower level and it's thicker and more of a challenge, and I can demonstrate all the modes. So we're going to go there now. Okay, here we are out at location, and you'll see why I picked this yard. This yard has 2 grass types, and it's both nice and tall and thick. We've got St. Augustine over here, and then way over here we've got Bahia, also tall and thick. So we'll be able to test 2 different types of grass and all different modes. We're going to be starting out with bagging. We've got the mulch plug is out of there, and as you can see there, the flap is up, meaning that it can flow straight into the bag. And so we will start with going just straight through the middle of this section after I figure out what height to actually cut this, because I actually cut this one at 3 1/2, but I think we just discovered that 3 1/2 is going to be more like 4 1/2. So I need to figure out my level and then cut it according to where it's supposed to be, and then I'll run it through. Okay, so you'll see me going nice and slow because I'm not sure what it can do. Believe me, at the end, at the torture test, we're going to put it in there full speed, like mulching. Way over there, the thickest area is over closer to that tree. But it is certainly doing just fine. If you heard it rev up a little bit when it got into a thicker, it's like a 2-stage motor where it senses that it's in thicker stuff, so it gives itself more power. But now this is interesting. I just noticed this flap here. So normally you take this flap off to take the bag off, but you got this big window. So, you know, I think that this is for like when you have it starting to clog up and you need to kind of clear the bag, like pushing some back there, and you want to do it without taking the bag off. You could do that. But otherwise, you can see, obviously, it bags, and that was this part of the test is, does it bag, and does it bag well? And it does. Definitely does. We don't really do a lot of bagging here in Florida, so I'm not really going to, well, you know what? Yeah, I should go bag some Bahia, shouldn't I? Let's go over there and do that. Okay, and of course there's no problem with the Bahia either. Get really close so you can see the quality of cut. And then we will verify that the grass went into the bag. There it is. This one we even had the pine needles. So there we go. So while we're over here, we might as well convert this into the side shoot mode so that we can see what it does with Bahia with the side shoot. Let's do that next. Okay, so in side shoot mode, in this tall bahia with pine needles, it is leaving rows, but it's just the kind of thing where you got to kind of go over it again and smooth it all out. Normally you would want to keep it up before it gets to this level. Okay, and so at this point I have to interject this clip right here, because what I had done when I was at that yard is I forgot to film the rear discharge mode. If you remember, that was the mode where you have the little kickstand, the little lever sticking out there. See there? And that prevents the door from closing all the way, so that it's open a little bit, so that theoretically the grass will blow out onto the ground right in front of you as you're mowing. And this is the viewpoint we're going to take as we try this. We're out here on the golf course. I've mowed everything today, just this is the only grass I can find right now. So here we go. We're going to start it up. It didn't like starting up while it was in the grass. Okay, ultimately what's happening there, I can tell, is that it's getting clogged. Yeah, look at that. So, I think that if it were, let's go to some lower stuff like over there, like not quite so thick, and see if it works any better. Okay, yeah, that worked. If you go to more of a medium height grass, like low or medium, it definitely works. It blows it all out there. That's not clogged right now, I don't think. Nope, we're in good shape. So, low to medium pile, but if you try to go through the thick stuff, it will jam up just like the side chute would jam up, just as you would expect. So, if it's something thick like that, you got to bag or mulch very slowly. Anyway, back to the original place I was filming. But at this point, I think what we're going to do is to put in the side chute, you put in the mulch plug. So the mulch plug is in there already. So at this point, the only thing I'm going to do is take off the side chute, that flap will close on the side, and then the mulch plug is in there, and so we'll be in mulching mode, and we'll see how it does. Now this is going to be the hardest thing for it to do, other than maybe the thick St. Augustine over on the other side of the yard. But we're going to go through this section right here and see if it can mulch tall bahia with pine needles. Okay, well, I would say that it's actually mulching better than it was doing the side chute, which is interesting. But I'll get in close there and see that it's mulching it all up nice. not leaving rows or anything, and this is with pine needles. So it's doing pretty good. What do we have next? So we did mulching, bagging, side shoot. Okay, so let's leave it in mulching mode and we'll go back over to the St. Augustine. Okay, so we're back over here. This is where we started with the bagging, and this is average thickness St. Augustine, I would say. And we'll be moving over to that section over there. That's going to be called thick St. Augustine. But what I'll do, let me back up the camera just a bit. I'm going to do this whole square, kind of rectangle here, in mulching mode just to see what it does, and I'll probably up the speed a little bit too. Okay, so it definitely did it. Let me get in tight there so you can see. It's mowing really nice, mulching it all up. Looks like it's bagged. For example, this area right here was bagged, and this area mulched. Not bad. Now on the second row there, you saw I increased the speed, and you heard the RPMs start to decrease. It did the best it could. It stepped it up a little bit, but here is where we're starting to see the difference between 40 volts and like 56 volts, or like 80 volts. The 80 wouldn't stop for anything. And at 56 and 58, they ramp up and you can really push them hard. But what we're about to do, we're going to do the torture test. We're going to move the camera over there and run it into the thick St. Augustine and push it really hard. We're actually going to try to stop it to see what it takes to stop it. And that will tell that tale. So let's go over there now. Okay, so it is not stopping as easily as I thought it would, and the issue is that this over here is weed-free thick St. Augustine, and over here where it was slowing down is full of weeds St. Augustine. So I'm going to set it up again to do this section, and we'll go fast through the weeds. By the way, I'm going full speed now. The throttle there is all the way forward on the speed, you can see there. And so the speed you see me going is full speed. So let's try to stop it. Okay, so there we go. Proof that you can stop it. But it did pretty well up to that point, and if you were to go slow, it wouldn't have stopped. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go check the battery, see where we're at. Okay, so, alright, so here we go. We're going to check the battery. Battery, press this button here, and you get 2 bars left. And so, yeah, we've been pushing it pretty hard. It's going pretty fast. Fortunately, they do give you 2 batteries. Unfortunately, I forgot to bring the other battery out here. But what I can do is keep mowing this area until it runs out of battery to give some indication of how long it lasts on like straight mowing. So let's go finish mowing. Okay, we are clearly super low on the battery, but look how nice it's cutting. This is a smooth, clean cut, and I wanted to give you that point of view angle so you can see how smooth it is. It's just super smooth. And here's an indication how quiet it is. When it's just rolling around. So anyway, I think it proved its point. It is really pretty good. It surprised me. It's stronger than I thought it was going to be. And so let's bring it back to the garage and wrap this up because I want to show how it can be stored. Okay, so here we are. We are back at the garage, and I just wanted to show you this, the way it folds up. This is really neat. So the same pins that you used to adjust the height, there's another pin on the other side of this arm that it also pops into, and that holds the handle folded completely in half like this. And that is the reason why these little extensions are so long, is because they are the other 2 legs of the table, so to speak. Also, this is a good way to get access to underneath. If you wanted to clean it out, this holds the mower up for you, so you could, oh boy, I didn't read the instructions. I don't know if you can spray water in there, but you could scrape it out. And also this gives you a look at the drive system. There is the motor for the self-propulsion. Clearly a shaft going through to a gear. Little pinion, and then the entire inside of the wheel will have teeth on it. As that pinion turns, the wheel turns. And it has plenty of power on the power and traction on the self-propulsion, I must say. Like I showed, very smooth. And so overall, it is a really good mower. It's not the strongest thing in the world, but for regular upkeep, it will definitely do the trick. And I'm happy to have it. So anyway, look down in the description in the top pinned comment. There should be links to go and get you one if you want one. It was, I think it was just a little under 500, a little over 500, somewhere around there. And I appreciate y'all watching, and stay tuned for the next one. Have a good one.